Hello friends, my name is Chrissy, this is Questions for Dessert, and welcome to week 2 of my series where we're getting our Christmas gifts done early. My plan is to get all of my Christmas gifts done in the month of November so that December can be focused on me and my Advent project. Speaking of Advent projects, I am wearing last year's. This is the Granny Striped Shawl by Crochet of J. I love this shawl. It's from an Advent that I got on Etsy. Forgot the seller's name. I'll link it here as well. And these are 20-gram opal mini skeins. And it's totally random. I love it. It's beautiful. It's obnoxious and colorful, and I wear it as often as I physically can. Let's start with finished objects. I realized as I posted last week's recording that there is one finished object that I finished months ago that I just forgot to tell you about last week. So this is the Modern Granny Afghan. The pattern is by Jean Steinhibler. It's just a modern granny square. So it alternates with a row of the granny clusters and then a row of single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, so that they line up in this beautiful pattern. This is for my youngest niece who was just born in July. This was my background project as I was learning to knit. So I started this on November 8th of 2024 and I finished it on July 5th, 2025. I've sewn the ends in. I haven't cut them off yet though. So I'm going to throw this in the washer. It is made from the Karen yarn. The color is Spumoni. It was one of the skinny cakes. I love it. I'm going to wash it, and my gift for my newest niece is done. My next finished object is the 2x2 toboggan, and this is from Anne Gagnon. I started this hat on November 2nd, and I finished it on November 9th. It is for my brother-in-law, Luke. This is the progress I made this week. I started here, or this is where I placed our marker after we met last week, and I finished the whole hat. This is, again, a free pattern. It worked up pretty quick. I made a few errors where I think it happened when I was at the coffee shops where I just got off pattern and I did like rows and rows and rows off pattern before I realized. So like I know now I pay attention. But this has been really a pretty joyful knit. I feel like I learned a lot in this hat. I learned like when to switch to smaller cable. I learned when to go back to a bigger cable and do magic loop. Just like there was a lot of learning in this hat. And it's lovely. This is Cascade 220 Superwash in the color 863. It's a brownish rusty color. There's one spot of red in here. And what this reminds me of is the episode of Seinfeld where George buys the cashmere sweater for Elaine that has the red dot on it. And this made me laugh. The yarn came from the fill-a-bag sale at our local creative reuse store. I filled a Trader Joe's bag of yarn for $10, and this was part of the yarn in the bag. But as soon as we're done, I'm going to block this today, and then it will be ready to go in my box of finished gifts for Christmas 2025. My next finished project is the Boneyard shawl from Stephen West. This is a gift for my mother-in-law. This is from Malabrigo Silky Merino in Arco Iris. There are multiple, I think there are 4 skeins in this that are all various, you know how Malabrigo works, different expressions of the same overall color scheme. And the only one that really is really obvious, I think, is skein 3, which was right here. But overall, I think the look of it is fine. I really enjoy it. It's super soft. I'm gonna block this again when we're done today. I was hoping to get it done by Christmas. I know that's something I said last week, but I focused on this project intensely in the last week. This is where I was when we met last week, and I got all of this done in a week. I love this. I did purchase the yarn, but I purchased the yarn forever ago. This was a project that I started when I was learning the skills I needed to make my sweater. So this is a project that I used to learn make one, knit one. So I really did not have an intention for this project when it was done. So I think it's just a great gift for my mother-in-law. A few things that I learned: an I-cord eats a ton of yarn. I played a very, very, very scary game of yarn chicken. But I won, and she's done. I started this project on September 20th, and I finished it on November 8th. This is by far the most complicated gift that I'm giving for Christmas this year. It is so soft. Have I said how soft it is? It has a little bit of a halo. It knitted up super easy. There are a few mistakes in it, which are fine. But I also learned how to pick up a drop stitch in garter, which was a challenge, but I was really glad that I stuck with it. And I love it. And I think my mother-in-law will too. So my other finished object for this week is the Boneyard shawl from Steve & West. And my latest cast on that I cast on last night on November 9th is the ribbed cowl by Irene Marga. I'm working this up in Cascade 220 Superwash in the color 865 Olive Heather. This is going to be a cowl for my dad. Super easy. It is a 3x2 rib. I felt really smart when I cast this on because I put markers every 10 stitches. So I knew it was knit, 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 purl, purl, knit, 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 purl, purl, and then my first marker. Knit, 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 purl, purl, knit, 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 purl, purl, until my next marker. So it felt really good to have a really clear visual representation for how the pattern needed to get started. And then once it's started, it's pretty, I can follow it. So it did just call for, I think, a 60 stitch cast on, but I did 80 stitches because 60 really just didn't feel big enough. So I love it because it is for my dad, and I know the work he does around machinery up in his garage. I wanted it to be something that would fit closer to the neck, not something that was big and floppy and cowly. So I really like it. It's been nice to work up. And something I am doing with this cowl is I am timing it to see how long it takes me, so that if I get into a place of having to rush through gifts as we go, I can have an idea of how long different projects have taken me, so I know what to repeat and what to not repeat. And this yarn was also part of the $10 grab bag at my local reuse. So this yarn is thrifted. So other things I am planning on casting on this week to give you a little bit of a preview for what I hope you'll see next week. I have a hooded cowl that I'm making for my niece out of the Cascade Eco Plus, the leftovers that I have from my sweater. And I'm also going to cast on another little skinny scarf for my sister-in-law out of some Malabrigo that I bought over the summer. I'm working through it. I'm feeling good. I'm averaging like 3 projects a week. And one of the projects I finished this week was massive. So I'm holding to my, I hope I can be done with gifts by December 1st so that I can do Advent for me. I hope you have productive holiday crafting, whatever that looks like for you this week. I hope that you're able to approach your holiday crafting from a calm and peaceful place, that we make things for people so that they feel loved and we can give our love physically to them in something that they will use and consume. And remember that this is not about perfection or productivity, sharing our presence and our patience with those we love. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you next week.